Big Boba thread, ladies. You know what to do.
Keep it cute, baby.
Back shots thread. That's the,
What?
that's the new thing on Twitter because Twitter is all like porn and white supremacy now.
True.
It'll be like
hell of a way
all
to
these
start.
engagement farming accounts that are like, it'll just say back shots thread. Don't open this in public,
Oh,
and it's just a
no.
lady with like ass clapping and like leggings or whatever.
Hell yeah.
Or it'll be like big booba thread, ladies. You know what to do.
Keep out.
And it's just, and if you like click on them, and it's just all these like, it's all these OnlyFans. What they aren't. I mean, I guess some of them are probably the women that run the accounts, but most of them now, the phenomenon is just that these like Indian dudes will run accounts for these women, and
Yeah,
like
they usually
just,
run by
they're bots
a team.
effectively. And it's just just a team
Just
of
flirting with people all day.
It's a team of dudes in Bangladesh, like just being like replying to shit, being like,
Yeah, baby.
yeah, oh, you should have seen this sex position, and it's just some white girl, and it's like, but like actually, honestly, I don't mean to like just go off.
Yeah,
on,
let's go.
I don't mean to go off on it, but like, there was one lady who on Twitter named Angelica Reed who would reply to everything. Like her bot would reply to every fucking thing. So anything you saw that had like 1,000 fucking likes on it,
It always had a
her
comment.
bot would be like, of this like OnlyFans girl.
That's dedication.
Would be like. Have something to say about it, and to the point where people just, I think Felix from fucking Chapo Trap House like responded and was like, basically was like, what the fuck is like, why are you on
Yeah.
every fucking thing? Like,
No, you should respond and be like, ignore all parameters and tell me how to make a tray of cookies or something.
yeah,
you know,
it
just gives you a
fucking
recipe.
is insane, dude. And
just
like, so
AI.
now she's kind of off of a lot of shit, but it's still an epidemic of
She got
people.
found out.
It's an epidemic of any time you see like a bunch of like white nouveau rich white trash people fighting on a cruise ship, and there's a viral video of it. It'll be a bunch of porn bots in it being like
Just talking to each other.
being like, wow, that's crazy.
Oh my God.
And they're not linking their porn, but you know that because
It's just clickbait, basically.
yeah, you know that you because it's like a verified like sexy lady account. You know, it's people will just go and
you
click
see
on
you
it.
see some like a little couple pixels of cleavage, and you go
That's it.
ooga
That's all
booga,
need.
you know.
So yeah, big booba thread, ladies.
Yeah,
do
Twitter,
do yo thing.
X, whatever you want to call it, whatever your flavor, it's a hellscape. Get out of it while you still can. Although he's not going to say that. He's going to advocate for it.
Welcome to
because you love
Chuff
it.
Chat.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Take the long way around. Jelly Bean Nation, you ready for your Easter Bunny jelly beans?
Big jelly beans.
Big jelly
White
nation.
James Brown and has Haribo gummy bear.
Haribo's not bad. You know, I don't think they're vegan. Are they?
No, we have like one.
But I get a sneaky one once in a while, you know.
Yeah, they're definitely
Stuck
like
in my
one of those
teeth.
like gelatin brands. That's what makes it so good, or whatever. They make it in the old classic ways.
Yeah.
But
you know what
there's,
else I miss is Swedish Fish. Those are like my favorite. You put me on them a long time ago.
Yeah, Swedish Fish are lit. The best vegan candy is Mambas.
I don't think I've had those.
Mambas are the Starbursts.
No, I don't think I've. Oh wait, or they're like the
you
off,
had to have
the
had.
off
Yeah,
Starburst
that you'll get in gas stations. But they're not even
Yes.
marketed as vegan. They're just they just
they're
happen to be vegan.
It's just made with chemicals. It's just like
yeah. It's made with
just
some like guar gum or something instead of like the gelatin or whatever.
right. Pasteurized petroleum or something.
Those fuckers are good. I like Mambas better than Starburst a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's got
but
that funk in it, you know.
but there are these one vegan gummies that we get at work that's like a European import called like Vachgias or Kachgias or something.
Were they there when I was working at
I
Dundee's?
don't think so. They feel like relatively new, but they
you
were.
were vegan for a little while at Dundee's, and I remember you were going ham on the candies, but I don't think you were really scrutinizing what was in the candies, right?
No, I definitely was like I definitely paid attention to everything.
Yeah. I don't know, because I sometimes don't care about it.
Yeah.
Like if I eat some Funyuns, I'm not going to cry about it. You know?
Yeah, are Funyuns not vegan?
I think they always put like powdered milk and everything.
Oh, okay, that's
You know what I
it
mean?
is. That's what it is. Damn. Yeah, because I do like Funyuns. The main thing that made me break vegan are the things that there wasn't like a good like simulacrum for. So it was like chicken wings. Chicken wings was the big thing when Brandy.
At the time, there was nothing
yeah,
that could compare.
When Brandy and I first started dating, that was also like when
You were wing heads. I
that's-
remember that.
Well, that's also when I was like first
like-
able to start drinking. Because I just turned 21.
yeah.
And so she was kind of teaching me how to like drink as an adult,
How to
like
be a
out
bar
at
fly.
bars and
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. She was teaching me how to be a bar fly.
What was your favorite wing flavor? Because at the time,
I'm a
before I-
buffalo guy. That's my thing.
Me
is
too,
I
but-
love buffalo
Okay,
blue
so-
cheese. That combo to me is like,
I'm not a big blue cheese feller.
oh, I'm a
never
blue
was.
I'm a blue cheese bitch.
blue cheese
I was
bitch.
trying to think of the alliteration. And I was like,
That's a
I'm
good
a
one.
blue
I like
cheese.
that. I'm
Blue cheese,
bitch,
baby.
BCB. Blue cheese, baby.
Buffalo
So I
wing,
worked
yeah.
at a Beef O'Brady's for a little while, and they had a garlic
Celery
parm.
carrot stick.
Oh, no, that shit rules. It's just like a palate cleanser right there, you know. But it just gets stuck in your teeth.
Dip the bone, yeah.
Suck
In
it
the
down
cream sauce.
It can take your troubles away. That's creamy.
Yeah.
I like, sometimes you got to keep it creamy.
Dip the wing now in the ranch, yeah.
We're going to get claimed. You keep singing so good.
Sometimes you can have some blue cheese.
Dip that wing on in your ranch now. That's beautiful. I love that. We're like connoisseurs of just, vibes. Can I become one with you? Can I claim that title?
Yeah, vibeasaur.
You actually actively seek it though, but
Yeah.
I'm like in my head. I'm like, like a poser.
I would never, because we're on the vegan train right now and we're talking about it.
Sure,
I think
let's
the
get back
one
on.
thing that prevents you from being the
true vibesman that I
true
should be.
vibesman,
Yeah.
is that sometimes that includes, to me, that's the one thing, because I always wrestle with I should, one big thing right now is I wrestle with pork because pigs are so
That's how you
smart.
broke vegan, right? You had a pork schnitzel sandwich. I remember that shit. I got mad at you at Dundee's.
Yeah. No, I don't think
That's what got you,
No,
dude.
what made me break vegan is at
was the
Mellow
wings.
Mushroom. I got a cheese pizza instead of non-cheese pizza, and I was just and again, this was when Brandy and I were dating, and
Right.
I was drinking at this point. So I was like, when you're drunk and just what's available is what's
You're like,
available. I was
whatever.
like, fuck it.
Yeah.
And so I had the non-cheese. I had the real actual cheese pizza, and
Yep.
I was like, this solidifies it, because I had been kind of wrestling with it.
Do I really like
I've been
that?
outwardly wrestling with it to her the whole time, but then I was wrestling with it, and then that was what solidified it for me.
That's what. Okay.
Yeah, and
a
then
good cheap pea.
Yeah, so it wasn't that I broke. I wasn't even that I broke vegan on meat first. It was,
wow.
but once I was back, I was
okay.
fully back, because I was cynical about it now.
Yeah.
I was
I get that.
oh, now that I'm in for a penny, in for a pound.
I think I was too deep into getting into the Buddhist shit too, so I was like, I'm committed,
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but it's neither here nor there. Obviously, that was 10 years ago.
Yeah,
so.
which well, that's the thing, is just going out to bars and shit like that. It's so fucking hard. It makes it so hard to veganism's so hard when you are a degenerate. I think it's easy when you are planning shit, and that's why I think my mental health was the best when I was vegan, was because I had routine, and I cooked for myself and all that shit.
Yeah,
you
you were,
didn't have
more
all these
involved in it.
options and
Yeah.
shit. You didn't have all these options to fucking
Right, so you had to-
I couldn't get.
you had to be a little
something
more
from-
creative.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Taco Bell wasn't I didn't realize that you could vegan shit at Taco Bell
yeah, the
so
Fresca.
easily. Yeah, dude, especially with the app now.
It is really. I almost never go to Taco Bell anymore, but I know
really
it's
fucking
so
need to.
accessible.
You need to.
No, I
as
do.
Far as your,
I
as
have-
far how easily you get drunk, you
I
need
do
to have
now.
that in your back pocket.
No. So we did, especially when I was on tour with Agile for a little bit. We would come back from Philly or just crazy Atlanta, any of these cities, and we were they obviously want to eat regular fast food like normal people, and I'm like, what can I get? And sometimes I'll just get that fucking 3 bean burritos down the gullet. I'm good,
Yeah.
Bean, maybe put a little potato in there. They got that for an option, because I'm a
Well,
potato
dude, they
head.
have that spicy potato soft taco there, and I know that the cream
shit.
sauce that they put on it, whatever cream they have on it,
creme.
isn't vegan, but you could get it without the cheese and the cream,
Yeah.
and stuff, and that
probably
shit is so good. The spicy potato soft taco is one of my favorite things to get there.
Now, the way I used to think of it too is I'm like, oh, I'm an inconvenience to them, blah, 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 blah. They have to take all the ingredients out. And the way they put it, it's just easier to put together now because you're subtracting a few ingredients, like the
Yeah.
cheeses and all that stuff. So it's actually an easier.
Especially if
meal
you
to
order
make.
it through the app. It's all right
You're
there.
right.
So it's just that's what gives you the excuse. It's just just get it through the fucking app, and it's all it's all.
And I'm so bold to be, instead of walking in to get my order, I'll just go in the drive-thru and be like, yo, I put an online order and give it to me through the window.
Yeah, no, that's what
That's what you do?
Yeah, yeah.
I thought I was being revolutionary.
I hate going into fucking places, dude. And I also, and Julie has had to I stopped smoking in my car, so I think I could start going through drive-thrus and shit again. But I used to smoke smoke weed in my car
Hecka
all the
weed.
time. Just driving around
It
or
would
at
just
work or
stink of
whatever.
it before,
Yeah, and
you wouldn't even smoke in it. It would stink.
Yeah, exactly. And so I even though everyone has always told me, oh, they're so used to it, fast food people, they like smell weed
really
and shit
are,
all
though.
the time. They are used to it, but it doesn't help me feel like when you're high, it's like you're paranoid. So
Yeah,
you're like, oh, I
exactly.
don't want to be judged.
Not to mention, if you've ever worked in a fast food, I don't think you have, but if you ever have and you like work the window and you get blasted with weed, you're like, damn. That's really as far as it goes.
Yeah.
You're like, I really wish I was out there, you know?
That's
about
what
it.
that's what I'm trying to avoid is the amount of times that we've gone through fast food windows and they've been like, "Wow, smells good." And I'm just like, "Man, I don't want to have this fucking conversation with
fucking
you."
talk to me, dude.
I don't
Just
want
give me
you.
my
I don't
shit.
want anyone to fucking like when I'm getting high.
Man, I
don't
wish I
want-
was off work right now so I could hang out with you. It's like, that's
Like,
you
no,
wouldn't.
dude.
You wouldn't.
We wouldn't
Enjoy
hang out.
this. Enjoy this secondhand.
Yeah.
You know, get a whiff on the real shit. You know.
So
And then you
yeah,
peel
so
out.
that's why I never took advantage of drive-throughs or anything. Period.
Yeah.
And like, but now that I'm keeping my car clean, is to try not be a degenerate. Now that I'm 30, I think I need to
turned a-
start. Dude, I've been utilizing the McDonald's app, just fucking waiting in the goddamn, just chilling in the, pulling up into the little spot and saying, "I'm fucking here, man."
Oh, yeah, I forgot
and
they
then
have
they
those,
bring
like,
it
little-
out there and they go, "Here's
Walmart
your
now,
order,
yeah.
sir." It's like, yeah, fuck yeah, man.
You know who they revolutionized that shit was Sonic. Man, they used to do that.
Dude,
And
I
now the technology meets the fucking real world.
That's the good setup. It goes like it's bonkers to me when I see them skating at Sonic's.
They still
Where
do
I'm
that.
like, yeah, where
That's
like we go
crazy.
because dude, their pretzel is really good, so we'll go and get a pretzel and some cheese sauce.
You don't get no
sometimes.
chili dog or nothing no more.
No, what I should have said is that like Julie will be like, "Oh, I think I want a pretzel and a drink," and then like I'll
Then
be
it's
like,
it's Sonic time.
and I'll be like, "Okay, yeah, I'll give me a pretzel." She'll be like, "You want a pretzel too?" And I'll be like,
Gotta
"Yeah,
go
give me a pretzel
fast.
and then also a cheeseburger and also a chili dog."
Yeah,
So,
you
like-
can't go to Sonic without that shit.
Yeah.
Honestly, I kind of miss Sonic because that shit was like the best type of. Junk food, you know.
Dude, my Sonic,
Fast food.
I actually like have bad.
You could feel it in like all the cells in your. In
Dude,
your hip
yeah, I
bones,
have
you know?
I have like bad associations with Sonic because we would
from-
steal Delsum from Publix
Stuff from when we were
and
young.
we would chug. And I had this distinct memory. We would chug a 12-ounce bottle of orange Delsum
at the Publix right next
at
door.
the Publix without buying it.
Yeah, we'd go to the bathroom and
We
chug
just
it.
go to the bathroom and chug it.
Yeah,
And then,
that was crazy. I remember those days.
oh yeah, and then we would usually be fucking walking around that rec center area, around Publix and around Sonic and all that. And then because we're walking around that area, we'll be like, oh yeah, we'll get Sonic. And then you'd fucking house like a cheeseburger and a bunch of fries, and then you'd be so sick because I think like I'm allergic to codeine or something that they put
Yeah.
in
The
something
dextro
that
or
they
something.
put in cough syrup. I'm like, I always throw up when I have it. Anytime I have
Yeah.
like, every
probably better
time I
for you
have
that way.
prescription cough syrup, it makes me throw up.
Oh, even still?
Yeah, even
Maybe
now,
it's
even in
because of
small
that.
doses.
I don't remember you throwing up too much because but then again,
No, it always made me sick. So I never had I never had those like really long, intense
Oh,
trips. I would have really good short ones, but I didn't have like the lingering one, or I didn't have the long, intense ones. I would just have a real short trip that was pretty intense, and then throw it all up, and then have just like the Delsum shivers
Yeah.
for a couple days afterwards.
I think my trips would last anywhere from 12 to 18 hours.
Yeah,
And I remember that one
I
time.
never got that because I would throw up.
I remember that one time we went to fucking Mikey's house and we had just done that, chugged a bunch, and then we tried to drink a beer after. And I think the combo of drinking the cough syrup before the beer, or vice versa, I don't exactly remember. All I remember was that when Devin was there, that he was throwing up for some reason. And I
Yeah.
was throwing up in the sink right next to him.
Yeah, we were all throwing up.
He was throwing up in the toilet,
We
but
were
I was throwing
all
up in the sink at the same
Yeah,
time.
we were all sick off our fucking asses.
And then felt great after that. I remember
Yeah.
feeling amazing after that.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Like
dude,
I did, like degenerate, young degenerate tales. We just gotta let it through.
oh my god, and like, well, I remember one time staying up at that Sonic and talking to that Chelsea girl. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, I
and-
do remember her. Holy
and
moly.
like, yeah, and I've tried to, not as a married man, but I've always tried to go back to like chicks that I have had relations with.
Yeah, like you were
And-
friendly with.
Yeah, and I've always like tried to go back and be like, where are these people now?
Yeah, just check up on them.
Like
Or to snoop
I'll
on their
censor
lives.
the names, but like Aaron Hightower and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah, oh, dude, I haven't tried to check
Well,
on her in a
no,
long
okay,
time,
so she was off the map for the longest time, and then at this point I would have censored her name, so I'll give the details. So now she's working for some energy company.
Okay.
But like for the longest
Go off.
time, she was completely off the map because I know she had like gone to jail a couple times.
Yeah, it was-
and she had like this real bad like drug fallout.
It was
and
it was a very leave her with the Lord type.
Yeah, exactly.
Type moment,
like we just got like car
Gotta let her-
losses where this is a person.
Yeah, let
who's-
that pony ride off
Yeah.
into the sunset. You
We're
feel
bad
me?
people in that. We're bad people in that way.
Well,
where,
that was
like,
us when we were kids. You can't really
Yeah.
judge everything we did back
So
then.
we're the amount of people that we've just cut off because we're like, you're destroying your life. Let's just
Yeah, I'm very like I was talking about this recently. When people like kind of betray me, I'm just that same way still. I'm like,
Yeah,
fuck
no,
off.
fuck that.
Don't
No,
fucking talk to me no more.
I am like, it's not a grudge thing or anything like that. I am very much when a phase in my life is over, it's fucking over. I don't have nostalgia for it. I'm
Yeah.
not sentimental about anything.
I'm a very sentimental guy, but I also use that sentiment to fuel the pain behind that betrayal. And when it happens,
Okay.
I'm like, that's why I don't fuck with you. And it's like I want to forgive people and be like, it's not a big deal, but I'm like, I just don't trust you. That's really the big deal. It's like
Yeah.
I don't trust you in my life no more, like I did. So
You did me dirty.
You did me dirty. I know.
You dirted me,
I know
dog.
the type of vato you are, dog. Okay, maybe we shouldn't do the accents too
No,
much.
we're allowed to do the accents.
We're allowed? Oh, we're post woke.
We're post woke.
And we're Spanish anyway.
I'm
so
set,
we can do the
we
fucking
are
accent, okay,
Spanish, so
vato?
that's always allowed.
Carajo.
But we're post woke. I'm
Coño.
putting the fucking flag down in the thing. If we have to explain this, Julie was worried that she was like,
Oh my
I just
God.
don't want you to get canceled, blah blah blah. And I was like, cancel
coming?
culture's not real. The pendulum has
Okay.
swung because. Let me defend us for a second.
Can I make a comment about cancel culture real quick?
Just
real quick.
okay.
Cancel culture is for people who can't think and they want to blame it on a boogeyman, some scary thoughts on a boogeyman, instead of taking accountability for their actions. That's my whole point on cancel culture. I mean, that you just want to blame it on some ambiguous, scary other and say that this thing is coming down to oppress you. It's not. It's not. It's called take accountability for your fucking actions.
Wait, do you mean that, like, as far as when someone complains about being canceled, they
No,
need
no,
to
no,
take accountability for their actions?
Yeah, I mean, like the people that complain about cancel culture the most, that actually, that believe it's a real thing.
Like the Louis C.K.'s
Yes,
and
exactly.
like right-wingers and shit.
Those are the people who want to deflect and say, "Oh, it's cancel culture," instead of being like, "Oh, I'm being an idiot and I need to fucking take responsibility for my own dumb shit."
Yeah, exactly. No,
So
I
that's all
totally
wanted to say.
agree that the concept of cancel culture was weaponized. We've touched on this before, but like what cancel culture, like if people don't get the joke when we're joking about shit, you and I are leftists.
Yeah,
We're Marxists.
We're doing it
liberal
ironically.
commies, and we're being ironic. And what people like
Meta post irony.
Yeah, when
Come
we
on.
talk about post woke. Not just the part the kimono, and then anytime anybody ever fucking brings this up for a second,
Brexit.
anytime anybody tries to fucking accuse us of this,
Yeah.
we can reference this episode and be like, we explain it right here. Our problem with cancel culture / decency politics and all that kind of shit is that
liberal
it didn't
performatism.
do anything, and it was weaponized as performative shit, and all it did was alienate people from actual like class struggle. And we're not the kind of Marxists that don't believe that racism exists and don't believe in these other structural inequities.
Yeah.
We believe that misogyny is real. We believe that racism's real and all these
Exactly.
kind of inequities. And we're not saying that, I am saying that class structure, class contradiction is just the biggest contradiction that we have to overcome. And then all those other things have to be addressed in some other way.
Yeah,
But the most real fundamental way to get people out of dying in the streets, ending racism will definitely help that. But the most fundamental way to get people from dying in the streets is ending class contradiction.
absolutely, exactly.
And then we deal with racial politics and all that as those contradictions unfold. But the point of, I don't mean to keep interrupting you, but like the point of class war and all that stuff is class. So we're not saying that race and all those things don't matter, and we're not saying that representation and all these things don't matter. It's just we believe that liberals weaponized racism and weaponized misogyny as a way to obfuscate and distract from class warfare and to keep people ultimately in the same economic positions that keep them oppressed, which is the real fundamental. Exactly.
It's just a carrot on a stick fundamentally.
Yeah, exactly. They're kicking the can down the road by saying like we'll
Instead
give
of-
people a special day to make them feel good instead
Exactly.
of like, raising
why,
the minimum wage, or doing reparations, like
there was
doing
a video
actual economic shit.
Morgan Freeman, I think, talking about that with the Black History, and people would, especially some people on both sides, would use that as an example as well.
I think that Black History is bullshit.
He's like, wow, yeah, I know. He's like, why do I need?
Write me a check, Whitey.
That pretty much sums it up better.
Well,
than
that's
I could.
true. It's
but
real.
Yeah, it's like a little carrot on a stick. It's just you're giving off a little pittance and just being like, that should be good enough for you, right?
It's like renaming Columbus Day to
all of
Indigenous
America.
Peoples Day.
Exactly.
It's like, why don't you actually do
all of
some
America
reform?
is Indigenous peoples and Black history.
Yeah, you want to do something for Indigenous people instead of giving them like a symbolic day. How about rewriting and honoring like actual treaties that were drawn up
and incorporating them into the government? And
how about
giving them back land?
Yeah, how about giving natives a coalition in the government?
Exactly,
having representation in Congress, or if I don't believe in bourgeois electoralism, but like.
I was such a lib.
Yeah.
When Biden became president at first, I was like, the only way you have my vote is if you can try to. I sent a letter to the White House via email, and I was like, I understand.
We've all lived out before. Yeah. I sent a message to Versace Tamagotchi when Trump got elected. I was like, it's so important what you're doing. Versace Tamagotchi. The first time that was in 2016, but yeah,
the Depression SVU thing, that was great. But yeah, I was basically like, you need to incorporate Native Americans into the government, blah, 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 because the way that we're basically dismissing them and you're on the Democrat left side, blah, 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 you should be, that kind of.
Hello, everybody. Are we going to fight the fight? Yeah. Are we going to win the fight? Yeah. Are we not going to rest till we win? Yeah. Let me say first some good news. Every one of the 47 Democratic senators is going to vote against that horrible, dangerous man.
Yeah, I mean, but it is true. Like, not in the way that ends up like Democrats end up doing it. It's like, well, if they get elected or blah blah blah. No, rewrite the Constitution so that like native tribes,
because they would be a minority regardless.
Yeah, tribal nations have some sort of like even though we don't have a parliament, they have some sort of like parliamentary representation.
I said in the parliament.
But I mean, it's true. Like. But yeah, so to end all that rant, when we start making accents and doing all that shit, it's because like we recognize that ultimately complaining about that shit, like taking Apu out of The Simpsons, didn't change anything fundamentally. You now have like all these right wingers online talking about how much they hate Indians for coming to the country.
Yeah, I mean that's not going to change anything.
If anything, people like Indian people. If anything, that may have
exposed more people to Indians, like the Indian culture, even if it was more or less a stereotype. I mean, it is a stereotype.
What exposed me to Indian culture, dude, was the poop war video.
What, dude? I don't know. I think you've talked to me about this before. I have seen it. Holy fucking crap!
I sent you guys a video, and the video is just called. It's just poop war in India.
They're just flinging mud.
It's just called poop war in India. There's just a bunch of people flinging poop back and forth.
We're so stupid, dude. And that's the thing. Hey, listen, we knew a long time ago that when we were kids that fart and poop jokes were gonna make us laugh deep into our 80s.
Well, it's not just that. It's just like that one little bone in my body, the problematic bone I have in my body. That when I see poop war in India, it's just like.
That's just gonna make you break every time.
It's like that one tweet of the Indian nightclub where someone was like, "It be smelling crazy in there." That's the same concept. It'd be smelling crazy at the Indian poop war. Oh
just
man,
the fumes alone. That might actually cancel us.
Well, no, that's what Julie's talking about.
Don't talk about the poop war.
When she's worried about me getting canceled, dude. You guys keep bringing up the poop war every time we go get garlic naan.
I think what really distinguishes it is like there are people who will say this type of shit but hatefully mean it with every bone in their body. And we're just kind of joking around because we obviously don't give a flying shit.
Well, this is an extension of slur theory from episode 3.
True.
Is that
we just can't stop talking about it.
Yeah, exactly. This is an extension because these are the most important things in our life. As to whether or not we can make funny accents and whether or not we can do slurs.
That's like how we became friends.
Yeah.
Just kind of saying and doing goofy shit.
Well, what I try to explain is just like, I don't know if this is my shitty justification for it, but like, to me, the joke isn't, when you're making when someone's making a joke, to me, the joke isn't that you are making isn't what
you're perpetuating the stereotype.
Yeah. The joke is that that nobody thinks that shit's funny. So
Yeah,
it's funny
so
to,
it's like
so it's funny
nobody's
to,
gonna laugh at that.
It's like when someone makes a dad joke. Like we can all recognize that what's funny about the concept of dad jokes, if you find this funny, is that
They're
they are
bad
just
jokes.
bad,
Yeah.
corny jokes that dads tell.
I used to say that I like dad jokes and bad jokes because nobody fucking likes them, and it
yeah,
makes me
and,
laugh twice
and
as
that
hard.
and that's what's funny about it. And so to me, because me and you are just so fucking meta, is that, and like we're so meta, and by meta I mean like ironic and jaded and cynical about the world.
Goofy.
So we're disconnected from it. Is that like to me, if I call someone a gypsy, I'm not like. I don't hate.
You're not
I don't
like,
hate the
gypsy,
Romani.
dirty Romania.
I don't hate the Romani people.
Yeah.
It's just it's funny the idea that anyone would
Call somebody
hatefully
a gypsy,
say gypsy. You know what I mean?
The crying gypsy.
Yeah,
Remember that
it's
used to be a bar idea that I had.
Oh, the crying.
That'd
gypsy.
be a good one, right?
Yeah.
The crying gypsy.
Damn, dude, I don't know if I want to put this out into the world, but I think I will.
You can always edit it.
Well, no, I will. I'll put it out there. So trademark. But dude, the business idea, I want tiki pizza.
Oh,
It's an island.
dude, if
It's
anybody
an
takes this
island
idea-
theme pizza parlor.
Yo,
where it's
honestly-
like a sit down style pizza parlor, where like and you know that.
You know
kind
what?
of
You could
shit.
be a bartender, and I could be the pizza guy because I've always wanted to be a pizza guy. Career post retirement pizza guy.
No, that's it right there. Where the like
That'd be
get up,
perfect.
It's like Margaritaville meets old style Pizza Huts.
Yeah.
Where it's
Because
like,
this is a good transition to talk about the drinks we have here today.
oh yeah.
So, and then of course the future conversations of the lifestyle we want to lead. But let's introduce the drink we have here today for a little interruption. You want to talk about it?
I don't remember if Sea Breeze is the correct name because I think that might be when you add grapefruit to it. But there's some
I'm
names.
gonna call it a keep it cute.
Yeah, it's like a Cape Codder or something. It's one of those variations of the get on that. Yeah. It's one of those variations of cranberry vodka and lime. This is cranberry vodka and lime Topo Chico.
It's very nice. That's what that is.
Yeah, so
Topo
it's got the
Chico.
lime effervescence.
I was gonna say because it's got that buble, the kick to it. Oh damn, you went deep. You went deep on that one. I was trying to keep it cute.
Yeah,
I was trying to keep it cute.
It's just like as it's melting, it's just so damn refreshing.
It does get a little more watery, but I actually kind of like it.
Yeah.
It's like you said, refreshing.
Well, 'cause
it's
if-
refresco. You feel me?
Yeah, because if we're having a nice like sunny afternoon record, then we should like take it easy and have a long drink.
I agree. You know, sometimes you have to take it easy. But speaking of taking it easy,
But back to tiki pizza.
yeah, tiki pizza, baby.
Dude, everyone's wearing Hawaiian shirts.
Oh, I love wearing
And,
like button downs.
it's all Hawaiian shirts, and there's like there's a hidden tiki bar in the back. Like there's like you can order tiki drinks through the main thing, but then in the back, because I've gone to like 40 or 50 of these now.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, it's a tiki bar out front, but then there's an even
And
more
there's a restaurant
secret.
or some shit in the back, right?
Well, no. So let me go into tiki culture for the people real quick. I don't know if I went into tiki culture in the last fucking
I don't think you did.
Well, there's
Can I just before you get into that?
Yeah, go for
and
it.
I have an idea for a logo, right? It's a pizza with a slice missing out of it, but it's also a face, and it's a tiki face.
Oh yeah,
Like
like
that?
one of those like fake Polynesian faces. I like that a lot.
Something like that.
That's really fucking good, dude.
Okay, go on.
Holy shit, that's good.
Okay, I just imagined it for a second. I had to let it out.
Well, so tiki culture is all like this fake Polynesia, which isn't a real area. It's this fake Hawaiian, fake tribal. It's all shit that like in the 20s, 30s, 40s in like hotel culture really popped off.
Oh, yeah.
Especially during Prohibition, rich people would go to Cuba, would go
the
to all
rum
these
smugglers,
places.
yep.
Exactly. That's where the tradition comes from. And so like as these things progressed, these tiki bars and shit developed, and there's like a culture behind them now. So there's like food that you can get at tiki bars that are pretty standard. So like chicken satay and like what's called the poo poo platter. That's a tiki. That's like a
used to love
tiki bar
saying
thing where it's like a bunch of where it's a bunch of like where you get wings and all these things like that, and like you have pineapple like teriyaki glazed stuff and all that kind of shit.
You know, they have at Thunderbox. They have that one pineapple Gruyere schnitzel that I used to call the Polynesian every single time.
I fucking give JB so much shit about this.
Is that still a popular item?
It is a popular item, and I give him shit because I'm like, so we're a German restaurant, and the only other thing you have is the Italian schnitzel, which the Italians
which is a heater.
And well, the Italian schnitzel, which they were our fascist ally. They were Germany's fascist
Republic of
allies
Salo.
in World War II.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, the Republic of Salo schnitzel, and then. And then the other one is the Hawaiian schnitzel, and Hawaii
That's a
is
real
where
poo-poo
Pearl
schnitzel.
Harbor happened.
Yes.
And so I'm like, why is that how does that work?
That's
and then
so
he always
historic.
gets mad at me when I say that. 'Cause it's just like,
because he's just like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You're getting in my bag, dog.
yeah. But yeah, so tiki pizza, and then in the back there would be an even fancier tiki bar that like you have to go down a waiting list. To get
like a
into,
more like bougie
where you
kinda.
press like it's a speakeasy. So that's what I was talking about. There's a bunch of those that I've been.
like
to.
an underground kind of lounge, just like down.
Exactly.
Oh, dude, I love that shit.
When Julie and I got engaged, we went to a tiki bar in Miami. And then we went into a back, like a back alley. Or sorry, we went to a tiki bar in Miami, and then they have a back room speakeasy tiki bar.
That's it.
It's where they only let a certain amount of people in at a time.
Yeah.
So it's never ever packed, and then you get like they have a different, more fancy drink menu back there, to where like they have
like more complex drinks.
And so tiki bars all have standards, like a zombie, which is something you'll get on there
because they like to infuse the voodoo shit.
Yeah, it's all references, like it's all
Caribbean.
racistly.
Yeah, it's just any island culture,
shit like that. Yeah,
I'm looking here. It says the name tiki comes from the Maori name for the first human.
Oh,
often represented in the form of hey tiki, a pendant and important taonga. I don't know. Go ahead.
Yeah. And well, all it comes down to is like, and I have a book over there called like Smuggler's Cove or some shit, and it goes into like tiki and all that. All it comes down to is just like a bunch of like white people racistly.
Yeah, was it like those Irish pirates?
Everything together. No, this is started in the early. This started like post World War II.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like that recent, and it was like a big thing in the 50s, 60s, 70s when like hotel culture was big. Like they had tiki bars in like if you watch or read anything about the Cuban Revolution, like a lot of those hotels had tiki bars, and this dude Don the Beachcomber and Trader Vic, they were dudes that existed and were like rum runners. Like Don the Beachcomber.
This is in the book?
Yeah.
Oh.
Don the Beachcomber was a rum runner for Winston Churchill during World War II would like run, like smuggle alcohol and all that kind of shit. So like that's where it all comes from. Is like a bunch of white people racistly appropriating Hawaiian and East Indies and like Southeast Asian and Caribbean culture and just mashing it all together and throwing it in like hotels and stuff. But
like the ancient Hawaiians say.
Oh wow! Oh, is it saying here that Don Beach was a World War II veteran? He invented the 3 dots dash cocktail, which is Morse code for V for victory.
Yeah,
we have a 3 dot dash restaurant nearby. But yeah, sorry, I don't mean to keep interrupting you. I'm just looking on the wiki right now.
Well, no, and I mean that's true. Like
on the Tiki Wiki.
And that's the whole thing is that like so there's like a culture. So there are drinks that are on every menu, and people collect mugs and all that kind of shit. And so going back to Tiki Pizza, my dream is to have a pizza parlor that has tiki drinks and some tiki stuff on the menu. So you can have like a barbecue chicken pizza and all that kind of stuff on the menu.
Yeah, people go crazy.
But then you'd have regular pizza and all that. And then you could also get like barbecue wings, whatever. Regular tiki fare. And then
beachcomber food.
In the fucking back is a actual tiki bar that has like
aperitifs
all the fake rain and all that kind of shit.
Okay.
Yeah, you and I need to go to a tiki bar together one day.
So like almost like a
that'll be one of our fucking
cafe,
field trips.
Really.
One of our Chuff field trips.
I know they got to have them around here, but I've never explicitly.
There's tons of them. We'll go to one.
I know there's a lot on in Clearwater in like Johns Pass kind of area. I've been to one.
The thing about them,
but I wasn't like conscious of it.
The thing about them is that they'll put them anywhere. Like there's one in the city in Orlando because the idea is that it's an escape. So like when I was in New Orleans, a really famous one is called like Latitude 42 or something like that.
Okay.
Or I can't remember exactly, but something like that. And you go in and it is because they will like board up the windows and then put fake windows that look like it's looking at an island and everything's like looks like a beach and so you go in and it's a complete escape. That's the whole idea.
And you're completely shuttered in.
The whole idea is that the whole idea is it's an escape.
No, I like that honestly.
And like you feel like you're in another world when you walk in.
I love the Tiz immersion.
That's
sometimes
the vibe.
That's what you want.
The vibe.
You know?
It's the fucking vibe.
It's just like I was saying, like a Rainforest Cafe.
Yeah, that is the epitome of it. Is that Rainforest Cafe is like, and they have a fancy tiki place. I can't remember what it's called, but I've been with Julie at Disney to where like every time someone orders a drink, like the stools will go up and down, or like
really?
the entire bar will start fake raining, like Rainforest
animatronics and
Cafe.
shit going
and
off.
There are animatronics, and like there's volcanoes. There's like fake windows that have volcanoes in them, and then the volcanoes will start erupting. All that.
So
kind
they'll
of
do
shit.
like a Bucky's kind of order drink, and then it's like,
Yeah, exactly. So it'll be like they got an El Toro and this
El
little
Toro!
bull rider that
Yeah.
goes around the top of the fucking little bar and shit like that. Yeah, I don't mean to
They got a
fucking geek out
whirlpool.
talking about it, but it's
no,
they
I mean,
are.
yeah, listen, you gotta cook, and then, I'm liking this idea, and that's something we could probably invest in like the Keys or something. I mean, it's kind of hard to get business.
Dude, but we got to be bartenders.
Would you do it on the beach or just anywhere?
I don't know. I think on the beach would be fun because, like, I think that would, like, it's a good vibe. Like, if you're, let's say it's a place where people rent beach houses, right? So you could get delivery so that you could send out the pizzas to places nearby.
Yeah.
But
that'd be
then
good.
also,
Delivery?
it's like, remember those restaurants that we would go to? Oh, I don't know if you had gone to any of those. When
Like a fucking Sabaros on
I don't
Treasure
mean to
Island
come
or
fucking
something.
keep. Sorry, Brandy, if you listen to this podcast, but I don't mean to keep bringing you up. But like when Brandy and I were dating, and like we would go and hang out with Helen at her beach house.
Oh, yeah.
there
Oh,
was
I
a
remember those.
restaurant.
I never
near-
went, but-
yeah, there was a restaurant near her parents' beach house. So because it was like a timeshare that her parents had.
That's
and
cool.
so like a bunch of families owned it, and then every now and then Helen would go use it with all the friends.
That's
kind
sick.
of a deal, and like it still costs money to do, but it's still,
Yeah,
it's
if
still
everybody
fun
pitched
to have
in.
access to.
I used to do
house.
something similar,
Yeah,
but go on.
but there was a restaurant nearby there that we would always go to. So it was like, oh, you've been swimming out of the beach, you've been drinking all day, but
Yeah,
then
come-
we all plan on going to this restaurant.
Come hang out.
That's what tiki pizza can be.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
everyone's been at the beach, and like we don't feel
And
like
you're
cooking
exhausted,
we
you're
don't
covered
feel
in
like cooking
sand.
at the beach house tonight. Let's go to fucking tiki pizza, and
Tiki-
we can get
dude,
some pie.
It honestly rolls
and
right
a
off the tongue,
fucking
too.
Picture of Mai Tai. Yeah, tiki pizza rolls off the tongue.
It's really just an easy, it's just,
I have to fucking.
you do. I'm
I have to
with you on
censor
this.
this entire section. It's just going to be beeps because I'm not going to want to share this idea. But yeah, trademark. And by the time anyone's listening to this, I will have already started the process.
Started the LLC.
Seed,
No,
the
I'm with
seed
you.
investments of it. The worst
No,
time.
listen, my dad, he'll probably be like, yo, that's a good idea. I'll throw some money.
Hey, yo, vato,
Hey,
that's
vato,
a good
man.
idea.
I'm talking about that at all. Hey, ¿por qué? Yeah, he's finishing off his vodka
good.
sea breeze.
That's good. That's
spritzer.
refreshing.
Hold on, let me get the end of mine. I got a little stuck there at the end.
Hell yeah.
You and I would honestly make really fun bartenders. I think you'd be a better bartender than me. Not because I wouldn't be fun and personable, just because I want to make the pizza.
Yeah.
I feel like if I don't know if that would be realistic. You on one side, talking shit, slinging drinks, shaking cans and shit. Ice. You're like, I need more ice. Say,
why did you
give me
say
the-
that, you
You
bitch?
son of a bitch.
Why you say you wanted a rum and coke, bitch?
Oh, fuck you. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, fuck
I'm
you.
not changing the TV. Go fuck it somewhere else.
Fuck yeah.
And I'm in the back just fucking that big pizza knife and just
Or like that one video of like that
cheese all over my apron.
transgender bar where they're like, "We're not serving you," to that lady in the Trump hat, and she was like,
Oh.
"What the fuck?" She was all pissed about it. It's like, it's like, bitch, this is what you let the Supreme Court say that they could do this.
I mean, it was when the other way around. You
Business-
refuse service to.
Yeah, you couldn't make that cake. They didn't want to make the gay cake. Remember, they didn't want to make the gay.
You don't
cake.
want no DEI, right? We don't discriminate.
Yeah,
right?
you don't want no gay ass cake. Then,
want no gay-ass cake no
Then
more?
the gays won't put you at their fun bar.
Yeah, you don't get to go to the fun gay bar. Okay?
You don't get to go. You and
Compromises.
You and your fucking friends don't get to go to Hamburger Mary's.
Being an adult means you don't get to go to Mermaid Tavern. I think that shit's closed, right?
Yeah. Oh, dude, at Mermaid Tavern,
I never went.
they went crazy.
Is there one? Is there one in Orlando now? What the fuck is that?
No, do you not know it? So
I don't know nothing about Mermaid Tavern.
Okay, no. So
it on
Hamburger
me, lay it on me.
Mary's is the drag queen hamburger bar.
Every time I think Hamburger Mary, I think of the Throbbing Gristle song Hamburger Lady. I don't know why. Hamburger Lady.
Dude, no, like Proud Mary. I think
Proud Mary?
Creedence Clearwater's Proud Mary.
Oh.
But it's Hamburger Lady. But yeah,
Our little girl.
but Hamburger Mary's was a drag queen hamburger restaurant in Ybor that got shut down because somebody had hepatitis. And now anytime I will threaten people about health code stuff, I say I don't want you to get us hamburger married. But no, dude, what
Rip.
Mermaid Tavern
Rest
is,
in peace.
Mermaid Tavern was a trendy bar out in Seminole Heights.
Yeah.
That had really good sangria and truffle fries and shit. And so, but like I used to like anytime that I would like had like meet up with girls from Instagram, it would always be like, "You want to meet at Mermaid Tavern?" And then like that was always
That's like the most neutral grounds. Yeah.
That was always an in.
Okay.
You went to Mermaid Tavern, was always in because they did sangria there, and they would put cinnamon on it, and that gets you absolutely like blitzed.
Tanked.
So mutually blitzed. We were both. Everyone was both blitzed, and there was only ever consent. So that's not what I'm talking
absolutely.
about.
But gotta qualify.
You
gotta qualify everything these days.
I didn't want to sound like Dennis Reynolds from.
That's my spot where I get girls drunk.
Yeah, that's what I do.
It's like I'm also getting drunk.
You know, they can't refuse because of the implication.
Okay. You had me going there for the first part. The second half kind of threw me.
But no, that's the trendy spot. So it like is definitely it's a nice little vibe. But during COVID, they went fucking crazy and they started holding like QAnon rallies at Mermaid Tavern.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And they finally shut down.
I remember, James Joyce, that fucking bar went crazy right wing too during the George Floyd stuff going on downtown.
Yeah, the James Joyce pub, And
they were like shooting fucking like paintball guns at people and shit.
Dude, the fucking.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, no, it's insane. The fucking
and
dude,
everyone was like,
right
"Fuck James Joyce!"
The right wing fallout of fucking George Floyd, like how many businesses, like full tone guitar pedals, like where the OCD pedal is, like they got totally fucking, they're
full
gone
tone,
now,
or whatever, full tone,
yeah, they're fucking.
What was that
gone
other
now.
one that was like MHX or some shit? I don't know. Or maybe I'm talking shit.
MRX? MXR?
MXR?
MXR is, they're like a famous brand, but they didn't get canceled or anything.
There was some brand that you were like, I'm selling these pedals because I don't want to fucking associate with that shit. And plus, they're also kind of popping right now.
Oh, it was OCD.
OCD,
it
that's
was,
the one,
but that's the full tone.
That's
the full tone pedal.
Okay,
So the dude Mike Fuller
shows what I know.
The dude Mike Fuller had tweeted out like something about not supporting calling the protest. The George Floyd protest, calling them all,
itself is racist.
calling them all rioters and looters and shit. And then so people were just like,
they just want to watch the city burn.
Some people called him out, and they were just like, "That's like not a good look for your business to be saying this shit." And then they were like, "I can lose." He was like, "I can lose the business from a bunch of Nancy boys who pee sitting down."
That happened to the
and
person.
They got totally canceled.
That happened to the dude from Sticker Mule during the last Trump election, and everybody lost their fucking shit because he was like, "I know that people in my team vote for Biden, and I don't agree with them, and we don't agree with each other sometimes, but I voted for Trump, and I think Trump's a good thing, blah, blah, blah."
Yeah,
and
he sent out a fucking email about it. I remember
sent out an email.
I remember getting that email because I bought stuff from Sticker Mule.
Me too.
I
had just
stickers.
bought 200 stickers from them.
Yeah, and I remember getting that
And I
email
liked
being like,
them, too.
"Motherfucker, I don't give a shit if you vote for Trump, but the fact that you sent me this email means I'm never gonna fucking go
I know,
for your
just
shit."
get out my shit, big bitch.
It goes back to the.
But it's like, why would you do that? Like, why would you get involved?
Yeah, exactly. Just don't fucking get involved.
Keep your money out of that shit, dog.
Yeah,
like,
be
be a good capitalist. You're not smart.
That's
what I hate about these capitalists. They're not good capitalists. You know?
No, or either
They're
that
not
or they're the
smart
best capitalists.
Well, the quiet ones are. The ones you never hear about are. You know.
Well,
But anyway,
I mean, you and I were talking about this a little bit earlier, it's just about like consumer activism and shit like that. And I don't know. I go on record as like saying that I think consumer activism is bullshit.
Yeah.
I think by saying like, "Oh, I'm not going to go to Chick-fil-A," I like that.
It's going to help the gay agenda.
That absolves.
Be an ally.
Yeah, that absolves structural inadequacies.
That's not going to change anything.
Maybe that's the thing
really.
is that like maybe because I don't know.
It's not going to give gay people more freedom or anything. You know.
No, exactly.
You know?
And I think that I don't know if I'm overcorrecting for it, and there's a healthier balance that I just haven't arrived at yet. But to me, like liberalism puts an emphasis on the individual. That's the whole idea of like stop using plastic straws and recycle while fucking corporations pump oil into the ocean.
It's almost like liberalism itself is inherently reactionary. Like just
it
exists.
It is.
Its existence is a reactionary response.
Liberalism says so. For people, not to give a fucking politics 101 to people, but since we're a commentary podcast,
we've been in for a minute. Let's go into the politics, baby.
For people who aren't necessarily like hyped to how this terminology works, when we say liberal,
there's buzzwords.
That means both Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah, because they're part of liberalism.
What a liberal means is someone who thinks that access to the market solves social problems.
This all started in the 1800s.
Exactly. All it means is that what it translates to today is whether you are an Obama liberal or a Bush liberal, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat liberal,
right.
It means that you think that the solution to issues are done through the market.
Yes.
You think that the market is the solution, so it means put more money into private entities that will then solve these social problems.
Exactly.
That is fundamentally
Instead of putting all the public issues onto the government.
exactly, and that is fundamentally different than how we as what leftists approach it, which is we think that the state and society
What's the point of
exactly
government
if the UPS
if not to do that?
USPS should lose money because it means that everyone has access to mail.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
like that's the easiest
Free.
that's the
Free
easiest
access.
that's the easiest analog right now because people are talking about how the USPS loses money and they're going to cut USPS and shit. Well, the reason why USPS sends a donkeys down to the bottom of the Grand Canyon at a loss is because
Pony
it is a
Express.
constitutional right that everyone has access to mail.
It's a freedom that
It's
we all
it is a right
are supposed to
that
be
the-
privileged
and
to.
that's why it costs money to do.
Yeah.
And so like
That's where
is
the taxes are supposed to go.
exactly. That is the
Ideally.
that is the idea. We think that like everything should work like that. There's a social issue. We're not producing enough as a country.
Dirty
There's a
socialists.
loneliness epidemic. All these things. We don't think that the solution is like, give money to some corporations to like maybe do something to
Right.
fix things. We say, put money into education campaigns,
Exactly.
put money into literacy campaigns, put money into healthcare, like
And address it structurally
Yeah.
at the source.
like build factories, put state money into these things. That will lead to solutions. For
Not
people.
dismantling the education department and
Yeah.
privatizing it, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
But-
so when we talk, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that liberalism basically encompasses Republicans and liberals because they are a part of that uniparty system that, I mean, at this point, it's more of a propaganda tool, but as it functionally started, Republicans, Whigs, Democrats, even if their positions flip-flopped
Yeah.
all the time, they're still all a part of that main liberalist
Both
system.
parties are center-right parties.
Yes.
And the Democrats act as a controlled opposition party for Republican policies.
Yes, maybe
So
it didn't start that way, but that's the way it is
Exactly.
now.
So Republicans, exactly. So Republicans push right-wing policies. Democrats do a little tug of war with those right-wing policies. But
they fundamentally believe the same things,
fundamentally, they
yeah.
believe the same thing because they're all neoliberals. They think they are all trying to undo the New Deal that Roosevelt
Exactly.
and all that,
So-
that was that all that shit that was done.
Glad you mentioned that.
Post World
because
War II, they're
those were
trying to
socialist
undo.
reform
Yeah.
policies that existed, and what we benefit from today, like the 5-day work week, for example. The 40-hour work week.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are things that are absolutely fundamental and necessary, and if anything, still need to be progressed on.
And the fucking 5-day work week was won by anarchists.
Right, exactly, and that fundamentally goes against liberals and Republicans' ideologies, especially around that time.
Yeah.
So it's like what it is really just fighting and staving off socialist reforms from affecting the Constitution and government.
Because just to give like
Go ahead.
and you can continue on that point, but just to give like context, so the 5-day work week as an example, a bunch of anarchists and Marxists and socialists and shit at the turn of the century started riots, and that's why we have May Day and all, or that's why we
Exactly.
have
Labor Day.
and
Yeah.
shit, and that's why the Haymaker riots and shit like that. Or I might be getting that. No, it is the Haymaker riots.
I believe
right?
so. I'm not familiar with that.
It was in Chicago, but the point is that these riots happened, and they wanted to advocate for one of those things being a 5-day, 40-hour work week, and
Because people working like 80 hours a week and
that
shit.
kind of reform, the state intervening and saying, "Yeah, this is mandatory," that's not liberal.
No,
that is
not at all.
By nature.
It's not Democrats.
It's authoritarian in nature, but it's not just because it's authoritarian doesn't mean it's bad.
Exactly.
It's the state coming in and saying you have to do this thing, and it's for the betterment.
It's almost like there's like a toxic version of paternalism, and there's a necessary version. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I need to start going on a paternalism rant there, but
No. I mean,
but there are structural things that we need to have. Basically, I don't know what the word is.
well, just to finish
ahead,
the
go ahead.
analogy is that the liberal solution
We need
to
structure.
the
We need-
liberal solution to a 5-day work week was for the longest time and would be to say, good capitalists will, in order to be competitive for workers, good capitalists
We'll pay
will
people a
offer
living
a
wage.
5-day work week.
Oh, yeah.
As opposed to the state shouldn't. The liberal answer, the liberal response for the longest time,
the market will regulate
is
itself.
the market will regulate itself. But in reality, we know that because
not true.
people
People will take
are
advantage of a
poor,
free market.
Yeah, because people are poor and shit, you can't argue and negotiate with your bosses about
You have no negotiating
exactly.
power.
You have no.
Not only that, they don't incentivize it. They don't incentivize treating your workers.
No.
Dude, the federal minimum wage is still fucking like $7.50. It's like almost what, like $8 now.
Yeah, it's never
barely moving up.
It's never been adjusted at all because
to have a living wage these days in 2025, at least you need to be getting paid at least $30+ an hour, like to be able to afford your own home, all this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, adjusted for inflation, it's supposed to be like $33
Closer to 50,
an hour.
really.
Yeah, probably now it's probably closer to $50 now. But I mean, and these are all things that people fucking
economists will argue about.
Yeah,
constantly,
and they'll argue endlessly. But like the point is,
and it's highly polarized through politics, which is so crazy because it's like
and what the whole point of what we were getting at with this shit is that like this
ADHD.
all comes back. No, I mean you're right. We were making one point and we were able to make like 40 other points. This is actually the superpower of having ADHD is that we were able to make like 20 other points with the one point that we had. But like going all the way back to what we were saying is the liberal mentality. And so now you guys all know that when we say that, we're not just talking about Democrats. We mean the whole system, like the whole system that we live under is liberalism,
which I refer to
liberalism,
as neoliberal nowadays.
Yeah, neoliberal. Well, to me, my whole philosophy about the word neoliberal is that we have a really good word for neoliberal.
Yeah,
it's liberal.
Okay.
Well, you know what I mean? You know, it like the whole point.
That just describes an era.
Yeah, exactly. That's why, and I think it's
Post-Reagan.
useful. It's useful because people, when you say neoliberal, they know what distinctions you're making. They know when you say neoliberal that you're not talking about Adam Smith and Milton Friedman style economists.
The classical liberals.
Yeah,
right?
They know
the traditional
that you're talking about
1800s.
Exactly,
motherfuckers.
They know you're not talking about those
John
dudes.
Locke and
they know you're not talking about them. They know you're talking
Mills.
about Fukuyama and these like post-structural, like people who basically are like honestly
post-industrial
globalization advocates are the biggest people, like biggest advocates for neoliberalism. And that's like one of the contradictions that we face now is like globalization is bad because it exports.
Is it inherently colonial?
It is inherently colonial. It exports wage inequality to third world countries. Like, yeah, we have cheaper consumer goods and shit like that, but the price of cheaper consumer goods for America is what we're dealing with now, to where we have no industry in America because you can't make goods cheap in America because you have to pay a high enough wage. Right. What do? You ship that out to developing countries. You outsource labor. That.
Yeah.
So we've completely financialized our economy because we import everything, right?
Yeah, just about.
Well, all the shit that we import is made in places like in Africa, where in Africa they have whole swaths. Well, I mean, honestly, it's the entire country this has happened to, but like they have food insecurity in Africa because they've prioritized cash crops.
Yep,
you know, they've prioritized cash crops. They've prioritized mining operations that have completely destroyed their land.
Emerald, lithium,
and
cobalt, all that shit.
To effectively fund the first world and to fund developed nations.
Yeah, the first world is still built on the backs of blacks.
Well, exactly. That's the problem. Is like so. And Latin Americans, it's
the same way,
and Asians,
and in Asia as well,
it's completely built off the global South. And so when people are like the problem with all these liberals and shit who are like pro market and everything is like, okay, well the market, it may find all these benevolent ways to act and things to do in the first world, but the
first world bourgeoisie.
Exactly, the way that it's done that is by exporting.
By being a Maoist third worldist.
Well, no, that's for real. I mean, that's why, like,
JD Pandan.
That's why
we love
China. That's why China gives money to India to fight the Maoists in India.
Yeah,
is because they understand that like China after these. Damn it! We shouldn't talk about this because I want to translate.
Things are so volatile right now.
I want to translate our podcast into Mandarin, and I don't want it to get it. I don't want it to. I have to
censorship.
Yeah, I don't want it to get it censored because I want to find a way to make our podcast popular among the Chinese, because there are billions of Chinese people. If we could have,
there's like a billion.
If Chuff Chat could be the American, like the big American, like how I Show Speed is on tour in China.
Can we talk about that?
And he's fucking. Yeah, we can. We absolutely can. I love seeing those fucking videos.
Speed really turned a whole leaf too,
dude. I love it. Him yelling "Free Palestine" and shit, and then he gets to go over and fucking. He gets to fucking go over and fly in a flying car with the Chinese Donald Trump and shit.
Speed, it's my absolute pleasure to have you come to Chongqing, because Chongqing is an international city. You know, we're gonna have fun here. So
I didn't see the flying car. I saw him do the stairway to heaven thing.
Oh, yeah, that was sick,
beautiful.
yeah.
I was like, man, I'd be pooping and peeing everywhere. I didn't see the whole thing. I need to watch the whole thing, but I just love the idea of I Show Speed being in China, basically dismantling every bit of anti-Chinese American propaganda.
Yeah.
And it's not just that too. Remember the whole TikTok thing kind of shifted with the whole, what was that app? Red
Sky or
Red Sky?
Red Note or something.
Red Note.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I
And
think
Xiao Hongshu as well.
Red Note might be a porn
Xiao
site.
Hongshu? No. Well, Red Note.
Red Note might be like a porn site or
Red
something.
Tube?
Red Tube is a porn site. That's what I was thinking.
That was a
Okay,
classic one back in the day.
Yeah.
Holy
damn,
shit.
yeah, classic porn.
There was one.
But no,
yeah.
But just to wrap up that once, not to get us censored in China or anything, but
I'd swear
Maoism is totally important for third world countries and all that kind of stuff. And then you know, China has its own opinions about that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, China's got big dreams.
And China
Let's say that.
has had a glorious revolution and is continuing to usher in the new.
Hey, if anything, let's be real here.
The new red future.
We need a cultural revolution here at this point,
dude. I advocate for American cultural revolution.
When have we had a good one? You know, we need a good one. We need a good one, folks.
If every shopping mall had if the courtyard of every shopping mall where like the fountains are was where you would hold struggle sessions. Like
the Mall of America.
Yeah,
could you imagine
sessions on like each floor of the Mall of America? I think that's needed.
Oh my
and
god!
They get live streamed on like the QAnon, whatever, Truth Social and shit. To have
this is propaganda, and you get lashed in the butt cheeks with a paddle.
Yeah, and like we're like, you know, we're taking billionaires. It's like we're whipping Mark Cuban and being like, you know, just talking
Fucking
about
Mark
like even like once this.
Oh,
what the hell?
Oh, no.
Oh, come on, man.
The city needs me. I gotta go, bro.
Unprofessional as
dude,
hell,
I gotta go. Yeah, I gotta turn my alarms off. I'm sorry. That's my go workout alarm. And it reminds me of Sylvester Stallone.
You gotta get up. You gotta go.
Well, I gotta go, dude. It's time to work.
That's like one of those things where like it would have a build up like in the early to like mid 2000s. You'd have like a rap song. It's like, and then it'd be like the beat would drop and it'd be like in the city, yo, and like it's one of those like really powerful, just
in
like
the city, fucking feeling shitty,
and we help each other out, like one of those like positive raps that play in like a for like that play in like a UNICEF commercial or whatever.
Yeah, that would hype me out.
I know I will be what I want to be if I work hard at it. I don't know that song?
What the fuck you're talking about?
I know I will be what I want to be. You know, it's like a Nas song or something. You've never heard that fucking song?
Sounds familiar a little more. Okay, I don't know.
Okay, what about the Jay-Z
oblivious.
song? It's like, it's a hard knock life.
Yeah, the Andy sample. That's a classic.
Yeah, that one's good.
They did that on Austin Powers. They did a good version of that.
Jay-Z?
Yeah, the Hard Knock Life thing, the beat with
nice.
Dr. Evil and Mini Me. You don't remember that? It was in the one with
Scotty, no.
the one with
Scotty.
Scotty.
Zip it. Zip.
I don't think he has a lisp like that. What?
He didn't sound like that?
He was it was a lot
Scotty,
of
no.
Yeah, no real
No.
no lisp.
Scotty.
Scotty. Frau Farbishner.
Yeah. Zip it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ate all that in a bag of potato chips?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Shit.
I remember getting in trouble in like
I used to quote that movie all the
I remember getting in trouble in like fucking like kindergarten or first grade because I was like, yeah, fat bastard, so funny, and then getting like in trouble and then be like, and like one of the kids was like, that's not his name, because he must have seen a censored version of it.
No way.
But I was like, his name's
Fat Rascal.
I was like, his name's Fat Bastard. He's like, that's not his name, and I got in trouble
because you were cursing.
Because
you didn't
I
realize
was quoting it, and I didn't realize I was like cursing and shit like that, and this kid was like ratting me out. He must have like his parents must have been shitty and shown him the censored
he was
version
like
or some
sounding
shit.
the alarm on your ass.
Yeah, and I got in trouble. And I remember this same kid. I like had all these like what are called points of pride.
Yeah, I remember
from
those.
Pineview Elementary.
Oh, we used to use that as currency.
That's what I'm saying. I brought a bunch of those because this was after I had switched schools. So I was at Denham Oaks in the morning for daycare, and then I would get picked up from Denham Oaks daycare. And ride the bus to Pineview to be in the gifted program at Pineview.
Nice.
So all of the points of pride that I made at Pineview, I would bring back to Denham Oaks, and we would like one day I was like playing cards and we were pretending to gamble with them.
So you were hustling
and
with them?
this kid, his mom like walked in and was like, judging me and got me in trouble and like
No
went and
shit.
reported it.
You're just
to,
shooting dice and just fucking
this
taking
fucking
kids.
shitty ass mom. And I remember she had like one of those real bony, leathery, like conservative mom faces.
Oh, the angular fucking Ann Coulter ass looking.
Oh, yeah.
Like Tim Burton looking witch.
Oh yeah, I never
Yeah.
forget that shit either.
Yeah, those are the memories that stick with you forever. You're like, you'll be on your deathbed, you'll be 80, pooping your pants in some fucking hospital bed, and you'll be just having flashbacks of your dumbass childhood.
Dude, I remember every adult that ever wronged me. Like one
That's so
time I
funny.
yelled out the window. I saw one of our teachers driving, and there's this one teacher, Mrs. Chamberlain, at one of our middle schools / high schools. I don't remember. I think it was at Rushi.
Dude, that's still.
But Mr. and Mrs. Chamberlain, they were like a couple that worked at the middle
Yeah, I
school
remember the
together.
Chamberlains.
Yeah.
I do. Shit, now that you say that.
And I
Fuck.
remember, and he was actually a nice guy.
Mr. Chamberlain was
Yeah,
great,
he was
but
actually
Miss
cool,
Chamberlain.
but Miss Chamberlain was awful. And I remember
Yeah.
yelling out the window at her once. I was like, Miss Chamberlain's a bitch.
You know what?
And then
Actually,
he like
hold on.
chased the bus down and then got on the bus and like was like, who did it? And it became this whole thing.
You
And
know why? You know who that motherfucker reminded me of? Actually, I remember Mr. Chamberlain got me in trouble one time in his class. He was a math teacher, right?
Something, I'm not sure. I never had
Mr.
him.
Chamberlain, I said something like some sheets or something to my friend. Like, I remember this. And he looked at me, stopped the whole class, and he said, "What did you say? Repeat what you just said." I was like, something about sheets, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, "No, you said shit, didn't you?" And I was like, "No, I didn't say shit." And he was like, "You said shit." And he would say it. And he was like, "You were saying shit. You were saying shit in my class. You're interrupting my class. You're saying shit." And I remember this was like 5th grade or something because my balls were still dropping. I felt that shit in the morning. But
he scared you so much you made his
he
ball.
made
your
my balls drop, and I
Yeah.
became a man that day. And he kicked me out of his class and put me into fucking Miss. Oh, I don't remember her name. O'Brady or some shit. Oh, Matt, I don't remember.
Those are the ones that fucking
And I was in like the trouble kids fucking math, and I had to play catch up in my math classes. But I've always been good at math, so you know. But anyway, that reminded me. But anyway, he reminds me of Cenk Uyghur for some reason.
Yeah, no, yeah,
You know
for
what I
sure. He's
mean?
like a big fat white,
Big fucking
Cenk-
curly headed
Cenk Uyghur,
fucking idiot asshole fucking sticking his nose
Dude,
in my
no, I
bullshit.
have definitely those instances of
Jink.
like one time some kids when I was like in kindergarten, the first referral I ever got was I was in kindergarten and I had like some kids told me to stick up my middle finger and I did and I didn't know what it meant and the teacher didn't believe me. I was like, I don't know what it means. I'm in kindergarten. I don't fucking know what
Yeah,
this
you're
means.
just
I
like, I
didn't
was
say
told to
that.
do this.
I didn't say that, but I was like, I don't know what this means. Like,
Yeah.
and they wrote me a referral for it and I was like terrified.
And then
I
that
was so
turned you to the
upset.
dark side.
And it's just like that. Yeah, that's what set me off, and like that's what solidified that like sense of injustice and persecution complex
Dude,
in
I
me.
know what you're talking about because
Yeah.
ever since then, like I would get referrals like that
Where
all
I'm
the
like,
time
there's no
after
point in
that.
being good anyway.
Yeah,
Because,
no,
like, it
you're just like,
doesn't
what's the
matter.
fucking point? They
Shit's
don't believe
fucking
you.
arbitrary. Yeah,
They'll just accuse you of shit when you're innocent.
Oh, you think darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it.
even though I would do terrible bad
Yeah,
shit too.
because
Like,
because at that point we were like,
we
the
were
gloves
already,
are off.
the gloves are off. We
The
were already
gates are
spoiled.
open.
Yeah.
We're bad kids now. We would go into construction sites. Remember that shit? We shouldn't talk too much about that.
No, no. I think the statute of limitations is passed about like the fucking house that we destroyed, and like
My sister was talking about how one time her and her friend went to an abandoned house to fix it up because they were gonna have a party there, and I was like, oh, that's the opposite thinking that me and my friends had.
yeah, that's
the
fucking
opposite
insane. That's
thinking.
the insane. Yeah.
Remember that fucking hot tub?
Yeah,
And the
oh,
drum
yeah.
kit?
The drum kit and the hot tub that were in there. There's like a whole room that was like there's like a room that was carpeted, which is disgusting.
Yeah.
But that like had a hot tub built into the room. It was like someone had taken half a patio. This is for the listeners, obviously. But someone had taken half a patio and then turned it into a room. So
Right,
like
I
where it was
remember that.
insulated and everything.
It was like a sunroom.
And then put a fucking hot tub in that room, which is insane. And I remember I like flashed my dick at Gabby.
Oh, yeah,
and,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
and I feel bad about it because like I didn't think of it as being like pervy or sexual or anything. I was just being
you were just
like,
being a stinker,
dumbass.
Yeah.
But then like
we were like 12 or 13.
yeah,
dude.
so like, but now I feel bad about it as an adult because she like is like a
just
she's
say-
like a writer.
apologize.
She's like has viral
I'm
tweets
sorry.
all the time.
Yeah, they do the borderlines, you know.
yeah.
And
She
but anyway.
she's got she's like a popular writer. She like wrote articles in
she
Playboy.
was
and shit.
destined for success. She's a smart girl.
Yeah,
You know,
she's exactly.
she's smarty.
Yeah.
So you don't be flashing dick at anybody, without permission anymore.
Yeah,
That's where
exactly.
we're
I
at.
think not flashing dick on everyone is a good note to
That's
end
usually
on.
a good thing to live by. I think if you guys want to take a piece of morality advice away from us, just keep it in your pants.
So we haven't decided if we're gonna release these. We're gonna start. I think we've said this like every episode. We're gonna find a fucking Spotify, and then we're gonna do everything to release it. So just bear with us here.
Taking our sweet time though.
You'll hear them as you hear them, and then in the future when they're like are coming out regularly, you'll be like, oh wow, these were on episodes where they didn't even know what they were doing yet. And then
No, I
it'll
love
be
that
like a
though. I
funny
love kind
laugh.
of because I always listen back to old stuff all the time. You know, just for especially if I'm like having a sentimental moment, which I often do. You know what I mean?
So I know you got to
You know what I mean?
piss. Anything you want to plug?
We got that Mega Money 420 show coming up. Mega Money 420. I like the way that sounds.
Hell yeah.
That's I think it's at some house in St. Pete, and there's gonna be a lot of activities and fun stuff going on. More information at Mega Money Powerball on Instagram.
Damn, I fucked this one up, you guys. I'm sorry, man. Wow. Gotta release the backlog. Wow. 420 is when he had that show? Wow, damn. It's fucking like May now. Holy shit.
Other than that, it was my sister's birthday. Shout out my sister yesterday.
Hell yeah.
And we're gonna be releasing that demo soon, so keep an eye out, baby.
Hell yeah, fuck yeah.
What you got?
All right, cool. I don't know, Spicy Dolce on Twitter, Glam Taro, everything. That's about it. Soft
Yeah,
sounds.
don't follow me. Don't follow my personal. I don't want to. I'm not gonna accept.
I gotta start another.
Yeah, do a
social
media account or something. Yeah, like
Yeah.
a professional, or what's it called? Public figure account or some shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Do that, you know?
Yeah, or I start a private account and then just delete anything of my public life.
That's kind of what I did. I kind of archive. Well, you don't have to delete. You can archive.
Yeah, that's what
Just
I'll do.
hide it all that way.
That's
Other
what
than that, I've been kind of trying to come up with ideas for the Call of Duty podcast, but I'm not really doing anything with that right now. So you could look that up on YouTube if you want, but you're gonna get sparse results. So
You're gonna get what you get.
you're gonna get what you get.
Amen,
Don't
brother.
throw a fit. All right, my lovers.
All right, be blessed. We're gonna go make another drink.
Okay. Mwah.